All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Sunday watch list. This is going to be short and simple as well. We have a lot of things coming up this week. Most important things that are coming up this week are earnings on some of the biggest names, such as Apple, right? We have Apple earnings on Thursday, February 1st. We also have Amazon earnings Thursday, February 1st. Microsoft a little bit earlier in the week, Tuesday, January 30th. And I believe we have earnings on Google as well. So four of the biggest names in the S&P 500, right? Tuesday, January 30th. So four of the biggest names in the stock market are reporting earnings this week. Therefore, this is a week to keep it light and just wait to see how the market reacts to the earnings on this company. As of right now, from a technical analysis perspective, right, things change a lot after earnings. From a technical analysis perspective, SPY has approached this supply up here, and we have been failing to get above 489. So anything above here looks like a nice rejection area. And we also have this trend line here that has one, two, and then the third touch over here. Looks like we're definitely starting to get a breakdown into that area. We also have a bearish divergence, which is when the stock makes a higher high, but on the RSI, we make a lower high. So this is a bearish divergence on the hourly as well as on the 4-hour chart. We also have that bearish divergence there. So that is a sign of a reversal back to the downside. But of course, keeping things all in mind because of earnings. So if we were to break this trend line, I'm expecting a move down into this 485 on SPY. Potential relief bounce in this area. You can see this was pre last week's high, Monday, January 22nd. That was the high. We got a big rejection off the area down to this demand zone. Break above, we start to hold it. So this is a key level where if we get a nice break and retest below this, this is going to be my main interest for a move down into 483. That is going to be a really, really interesting move that I will be interested in if that does play out. And of course, relief bounces all down here. So any type of bounce down here in this 483 is going to be very, very important to watch for on SPY. Notice how we have that 4-hour 21 at that 485 level as well. Definitely a big area to pay attention to. So that is my analysis on SPY. Unless we get a break and hold above 489, I'm not interested in longs just yet. But remember, earnings is this week, so anything can happen, right? QQQ, keeping things simple on this one as well. I have this trend line right here. If I go to the hourly, you guys will see a little bit more clearly why I have the levels that I have here and the zones that I have here. I have this 421 zone down here as a demand as my main interest point. We do have Friday's pre-market low that bounced once, twice, held some over here. So that would be a nice interest zone for me to pay attention to if we get below that for a small scalp down into this demand zone down here at 421. And then we also have this trend line here, one, two touches so far, where I want to see if we can stay below that. But any break and retest above this area here, notice how we have some rejections here. We break above it, we hold, and then we break back below, we reject over here. So if we get any type of break and retest of this area, this is going to be my long level back into this area, which was Friday's high, and then back up into the zones up here, and then of course these highs up here. So pretty simple on the QQQ. Those are the key levels to pay attention to for reactions. Main interest area is going to be this 421 for a bounce, or a small break and retest down to here for the move down into there, and for the reversal to the upside, it's going to be that area. So that is main interest on QQQ. Go to the daily chart. You can see we have the daily 9 approaching near this 420 to 421 area. Definitely an area to pay attention to for, right? We're catching a pullback. As you can see when we are in an uptrend, we usually pull back to that 9 or that 21. So we want to see if that 9 holds the daily 9 for a reversal back to the upside. So probably a small pullback incoming, right? Apple, we broke that supply from last week at this 192. And we made a move all the way into 196, which was pretty much highs. You can see every time we come to those highs, we do get rejected. And we're back in the zone. So this is the zone to pay attention to. Anything below that has room down to 188, back into 184. Earnings come out good. Probably get that move back into highs, probably back above that area, right? So it's all gonna come down to earnings for this one. So just be a little bit patient on Apple. Same thing for Amazon. Patience on Amazon. Microsoft has a good either or setup. On the daily, we have that daily 9 that has been very, very respected since the start of January. Every time we pull back to it, we have a psychological level of 400 here. If that daily 9 is in confluence with that 400 level, it looks like that can hold. So watch for bounces and holds of 400. But again, this one has earnings on Tuesday. So you have to be safe this week. You got to play it safe this week. Let everything come out because we also have economic data on, I believe, Wednesday, the Fed interest rate decision. So the Federal Reserve policymakers signaled they won't cut U.S. interest rates just yet, probably until June. So we'll see how that affects the market, right? And then we have job reports, I believe, on when is it? We have job reports. I don't know if it's Tuesday. We have consumer confidence, jobless claims, yes. And then we have non-farm payrolls on Friday. So that is already like a bunch of red flags for me to just keep it light this week, a bunch of economic data. Wednesday being one of the big ones, and then non-farm payrolls as well. So we'll see how that goes. Big tech earnings and Nvidia, not so interested in, right? It's been holding that 600. That 600 level should be used as a demand zone as long as it holds that area. You see every time we come up to this area, we catch a pretty big bounce off this area. Notice how when we first broke above 600, we got a huge move up from 600 all the way into 628, which is crazy, right? Big moves off the 600. So any pull back into 600, watch to see if that holds for a move back up, right? Or breaking retest below that. That's going to be the main pivot level for NVIDIA. AMD, not too interested in just yet. This one does have earnings as well on Tuesday, so keep a light on that one. Meta, not too interested in just yet. It's almost at 400, so we'll see how it reacts as we get there. Earnings as well, Thursday, so keep it light. Tesla, right? This is a name that I did take a loss on last week. Their earnings, I was very interested in the demand hold of this 210. This 210 area from back here that every time we did hold it, we caught a pretty aggressive bounce. Tesla was extremely oversold, and it did look like we were starting to base out last week down here. So I did take a loss on this one after earnings played out. I was actually up pretty nice on it at the start of the week, but after earnings, of course, you guys see what happened. Took a pretty big loss on it on this one. Now we're at this 180 zone. Tesla still looks very, very weak. I kind of am expecting a slight relief bounce before we go lower. So we could probably catch a bounce in this gap fill up to 200 before this does go lower. It looks like this on the weekly, this looks like it has room down into like 160, potentially even 150. This is going to be a great play for leaps. So if you guys don't know what leaps are, it's like plays at least more than 6 months out, right? So for this one, I'd be interested for like January 2025. And if you have the capital, January 2026, those are probably gonna be a bit more expensive, but it's almost like a lock, like a guaranteed play almost, right? To just put some money in some leaps, probably some 250 calls for a year or two out at these demand zones down here because yes, you don't want to catch this falling knife just yet. For shares, of course, you can always just average in. So average in at every level. Tesla looks like it's going to be a good play for the long run. So that's my Sunday watch list for this week. I hope you guys have a great trading week. Keep it safe, keep it light. January is almost over. You don't want to mess up on the last couple of days of January. Start off February fresh. If you didn't have the best January, and remember, it's still very, very early in the year. Start building that cushion so that you don't have to play catch up for the rest of the year, right? You want to build that cushion and add on top of that cushion so you can put on more size a little bit later in the year if you build that cushion. So I hope you guys all have a great trading week and keep it safe, right? Peace.